In the day's other news, the Biden administration's Family Reunification Task Force has identified more than 3,900 children who were separated from their parents at the U.S.-Mexico border under the Trump administration's zero-tolerance immigration policy. So far, more than 1,700 have been reunited with a parent, but more than 2,100 children have not. The White House says a lack of data on the children has slowed reunification efforts.
Everybody wants it to go faster. Everybody wants, in this administration, everybody wants these kids to be reunified with their family members and with verified family members. But, we're working with a challenging issue related to data that we knew would be the case from the beginning.
The Biden administration will review the cases of an additional 1,700 children to see if they were also separated under the zero-tolerance policy. We'll have more on the president's immigration policy later in the program. International law enforcement agencies today unveiled the results of a 16-country sting operation after criminals planned drug deals and killings on a messaging app secretly run by the FBI. More than 300 criminal gangs used the app. The raids led to more than 800 arrests, as well as seizures of 32 tons of drugs and more than $148 million. United Nations judges in The Hague upheld a genocide conviction against former Bosnian Serb military chief Ratko Mladic. The 79-year-old had been convicted of crimes against humanity during the Balkan Nations War from 1992 to 1995. The judges rejected his appeals so that Mladic will spend the rest of his life in prison. Colonial Pipeline's chief executive today defended his company's response to a ransomware attack last month. Joseph Blount told a Senate panel that the Russian-based hackers breached their network through an account that was only protected by a single password. He said paying the ransom was the hardest decision of his career, but the right move to end fuel shortages.
It was our understanding that the decision was solely ours as a private company to make the decision about whether to pay or not to pay. And considering the consequences of potentially not bringing the pipeline back on as quickly as I possibly could, I chose the option to make the ransom payment.
The Justice Department was able to recover much of the $4.4 million ransom payment after seizing a virtual Bitcoin wallet used by the hackers. Infrastructure talks between President Biden and the top Republican Senate negotiator are now over. Shelley Moore Capito of West Virginia says that the president broke off their negotiations today after being unable to reach a deal over his proposed $1.7 trillion jobs and infrastructure package. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said the president is now shifting his strategy by reaching out to a bipartisan group of senators and crafting an alternate proposal. The Senate is poised to pass sweeping bipartisan legislation to boost the U.S. tech industry amid growing international competition, mainly from China. The roughly $250 billion bill will invest in semiconductor manufacturing, artificial intelligence research, robotics, and a range of other technologies. It is being hailed as the country's biggest investment in scientific research in decades. The Biden administration is also forming a task force to address disruptions in the semiconductor, construction, transportation, and agriculture sectors. It aims to boost domestic manufacturing to limit dependency on countries like China. We'll take a closer look at this and the Senate's technology bill after the news summary. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention eased pandemic travel recommendations for more than 110 countries and territories today, including Japan, ahead of the Summer Olympics. Meanwhile, Pfizer expanded testing its COVID vaccine in children younger than 12, giving them lower doses of the shot. In economic news, the Labor Department reported a record-high surge in job openings as more businesses reopened. They were up 998,000 in the month of April to 9.3 million. Also in April, the U.S. trade deficit narrowed to nearly $69 billion as stronger economic growth led to more sales of American exports. And trading was light on Wall Street today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 30 points to close at 34,600. The Nasdaq rose 43 points, and the S&P 500 added a fraction of a point. Still to come on the NewsHour, the Vice President discusses the administration's immigration agenda in Central America. Calls for free tuition at the nation's community colleges grow louder. And a songwriter helps hospital workers process the pandemic through music.
This is the PBS NewsHour from WETA Studios in Washington and in the West from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State University.